I think something that scared me is that my definition of romance over time has changed. I think I used to think that it meant that I only loved people in my family, right? And there was just some idea of love in which you get these butterflies in your stomach and you get nervous around somebody and you look at someone with these rose tinted glasses and you think that this is as good as it gets, right? This person's perfect. I grew up a little bit and I told myself I just wanted someone who was nice. Like in elementary school, I just wanted someone who was nice. And I wasn't much of a talker in elementary school, so I just wanted someone who I could share the moment with. I liked running around, and I think I liked Pokemon at the time. So I just liked quality time with people, like in front of a TV, or playing with toys, or exercising, or playing soccer, or running. And that was good enough for me. As I got into middle school, you start to develop a little bit more hobbies, and you grow a little bit as a person. I think I just wanted someone to talk to. I really just was struggling to break out of my shell. I had a good handful of friends, but all I felt like it was transactional. It was like you play video games with these guys, you play sports with these guys, you do homework with these guys, you play Smash with another group of people, or you talk about books with your book group, or you do class projects with another set of people. Like all it was just there was something that you do with each set of people, and that's all that my social life was. It really helped my brain at the time because it gave me a set expectation wherever I went socially. Like my soccer group was just my soccer group, my friend group was just my friend group, and we just ate food and rode our bikes. And there was a clear expectation of what you did with each circle of individuals, and there wasn't much overlap for me. So at least in terms of classification, categorization, whatever you want to say when you're a kid, like that was very straightforward. It was easy. But at that time, I wanted someone who saw a little bit of everything of me. I wanted someone who like made me feel complete, who I could have as a person that was the soccer and the academics and playing video games and the eating and everything. And maybe that was really ambitious, but that all went away once I just found a girl that was interested in me at all. Some random girl, she's giving me hugs, she's invited me over to swim at her house, and she liked playing video games, and suddenly I'm on like late night chats with her all the time, and she's always inviting me to hang out with her friends, and I'm hanging out with her friends, but somehow we always just end up alone, and it's us two. And this was my first ever relationship, and it honestly, I still don't think I'm over it. I block her, but I think about unblocking her like every like maybe 2 weeks, and it's even though I want to just close this chapter, and I've crashed out over the years to her over and over again about how I'm like, you can't just pressure me into a relationship. You can't get mad at me for getting into a relationship when you're the same person who's telling me to move on. She's the avoidant attachment type, and she has these phases where she likes me a lot and then she hates me, and it's a whole mess. I have trouble letting go. I'll still let her follow my Instagram. I want her to see how I'm doing, and I refuse to cut her out of my life. And there's always a way that she can contact me. She has my number, my home, she knows what school I go to. She has my email. She can still DM me on Instagram. I'd still let her follow me. And that's heavy. But what I mean to say by that is I thought that love at the time was just someone that you could talk to, someone who could see all the sides of you and accept you for that. And acceptance doesn't mean this feeling of love is going to last. It just means that it's easier to have an interaction with a girl than it is for someone just doesn't like you or only needs you for like one thing, right? And honestly, any interaction that I had with a girl at the time, I'd start developing feelings over them, even if it was just someone who I like did algebra homework with. And I think that's what you do as a kid, right? You see you are so deficient of opportunities. You see any opportunity as like something grandiose, and you confuse your feeling of excitement for feeling of love, right? The same way that people confuse feelings of fear for feelings of love. And it's like when you finally beat a certain hard part of a level and you hit a checkpoint and you finally feel that huge wave of relief. Like that's basically what it felt like. And once
Nice.
that wears off, you're not even worried about all the
That was
shit that you were worried about
Minecraft. Okay, it's
before.
been a
Like you're
while.
just happy to be done with the hard part. And that was honestly like meeting the girl and developing the relationship with her. So you get in that relationship, it all falls apart, yada yada yada. Your definition of love changes again, and I start putting more requirements on it. I start saying I don't want someone like my exes. I don't want to repeat the same mistake twice. I start antagonizing my
So
exes. I
dude,
refuse
well,
to
you have to go
find
through
someone even
more.
remotely similar to them, and I only keep like one good quality, which was the academics. And every single woman that I've dated has been so different from the ones previously, and that is a function of me not processing my emotions, right? Of me looking at my exes as something to avoid, as something which is so terrible that I could never work.
Shit.
But I think what I failed to realize is that I am a dynamic person, that I am constantly changing. And just like the seasons, I wouldn't look at summer and be like, hey, bro, can you cool down? Like, I don't want you to be so hot right now. But in winter, I yearned for the heat. I yearned for summer to come around. So people they change and they're beautiful, and it's not something so static where I look at my ex as something that I need to avoid forever, and that I look at my future opportunities as something that's I decide once good and then it's going to work forever. Like unfortunately, you're never gonna have that certainty, that
Jesus.
closure. You're always gonna look at people as a project, and
Say hi by the way.
people change and develop, and that is an idea of love that I think it was healthier. It's not just like you put the ring on it, you pass the test, and boom, you're good forever. It's like life is the test. You are the project, and you're always going to keep working and iterating, and you can always be better, and your relationship can always be sounder. And the question is, do you go together and do you go apart? And you're honestly never going to really know until you just do it. And time makes it easier. I have friends that I feel like will last forever and last a lifetime, and that's closure and that's clarity, that's certainty that I just haven't experienced yet in a relationship.
I think the crystals are decorative.
I couldn't put my finger onto why, but that doesn't mean that I should give up. That means I need to keep trying until I get it, because I know that it exists, because I have that in my
No,
family
I
and my
mean,
friends. And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just that
yeah. I
last
think the
romantic
shorter you
piece
get
that
to,
is
the more
missing, and the
decoration.
perpetuity, that clarity, that closure, that
Fine crystals,
indefinite
mangoes.
goal that I feel like I can never reach, but I know it, but I know exists, at least for me, in context outside of the romance. That's what I want love to be.
Yeah,
And I think that's something that's really pointed.
nice.
I was always chasing this idea of love as a social construct because it was what other people told me that love should be. It's the feeling of butterflies, it's the excitement, it's that feeling of not wanting anybody else, it's that feeling of solidarity. It's that feeling of somebody that excites you and that can experience your entire life and that you want to live every aching moment with, yada yada yada. But that's unsustainable. I'm not somebody who likes being around somebody all the time. I need some alone time for me, and I like sharing my passions and my
You're more
hobbies and my
Valeri.
moments, and I like talking about it. But you don't need to tell your partner everything, because if you are both living each other's lives, that's
I
like
have.
you're not living either of your lives to the fullest. Like, you need to have some alone time. You need some separation, and you also
Wow,
just
Duncan.
need to coexist. You don't necessarily need to live every single waking moment with them. It's just you need to live these lives that are intertwined, so to speak. And to find somebody with that common value
Oh, I think
is to find that quote
I did
unquote
this in
love
like
of your life. That's
this.
some person that your idea of love and their idea of love matches up, right? You have the same expectations, and you
Okay,
meet each
bro.
other's expectations, and you work on aligning those expectations, so to speak. Because I find it really hard to believe that people just come out of the box ready, like you don't come out of the box, so to speak, ready to walk. You don't The birds don't pop out of the egg ready to
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
fly. So
Are we
it's
jumping me
just a
now?
thing of this idea of love, this notion of something perfect. It's something that's developed over time. It's this idea that we have to protect for each other. And this is something which honestly, like, it broke me when I started thinking about it. And it took time of hating all my exes. It took time of processing my feelings, of car chats, of talking to people, that you realize that this idea of love, it's not something empirical. It's not the certain areas of my brain light up for every single person, and if all of these areas light up, boom, you're in love with someone. And it's not something that's going to last, that's guaranteed. It's something which you have to guarantee. It's something that you have to invest into, that you have to develop, and you're ultimately putting this trust into someone and hoping that they just align with your values, and that can
Oh, almost at my spawn.
it's ultimately out of your control. And it's a mutual effort that you have to consistently make for hopefully the rest of your life, to fall in love with one particular person. And that kind of kills a lot of the
You're not
romance,
done?
right? It kills this idea that you
does.
get drilled into you, these love
Chinese
stories, these,
motherfucker.
oh my goodness, these ideas of perfection that you have. It's difficult to process. We just want to believe that it's all going to be perfect, that we have some soulmate that's just lying out there, and then you get to know them and it's all perfect and it's perfect forever.
Get back here.
And people
The
don't want to
fuck?
believe that
Why does
these
he have a
relationships are effort, that
gun?
it's work. And it's because, and maybe that's why the love
Bitch
story
ass.
always ends like right once they get together, right? We always want to see people
They
falling in
have the
love, but
fucking
we
China
don't
hats.
really appreciate people staying in love. You don't want to see the difficult moments. You don't want to work through the hard parts. It's something that's more rare. And it's something that I honestly don't see people appreciate until
Okay,
they
I don't
get a
know why I
little
went
bit
into the
older and they have to
recording
deal with
mode.
those moments, and it's a little bit more relatable. We all just love the idea of romance. We
Just to make sure.
fall in love with the idea of falling in love. And I'm more subscribed to
My cobalt
you fall in
water.
love twice, right? The exciting
Did I
part,
drop it?
the novelty,
No fucking
and
way.
the second time
I
is when your
might be
patterns become so
retarded.
intertwined that your neuroplasticity exists to
What
be
the fuck?
the
What
lover
the
for them.
fuck?
And
At least it's not my adamantite. Seems
that's the
insane.
journey of romance, at least for me. And I, th- I think the jarring part about that entire recount of how my idea of romance, of love, has changed over the years is that
I'm on mantle, bro.
I look at that now and I scroll on Instagram and I have a folder that I put all this romantic stuff in, and it used to just be romantic love in the sense of a partner, right? Of someone outside of your family, outside of your friends that you want to love as your person, right? And now that folder is starting to fill up with family and friends and romanticizing the work that I
Oh,
do and the life that
19
I lead
steel
and the
greaves.
morals that I have and the person
Holy
that I
shit.
want to become. And
Ugh.
this idea of romanticizing life and family and friends is to say that the love
Damn,
isn't just
bro.
the love that we
These
feel
places are
for
rich.
someone of romantic interest in the traditional sense. It's also falling in
Dude,
love
this
with the
story
life
of
that
shit
you
is
lead and
actually
the people that you
outrageous.
live with in very much the platonic sense. But you still call it romanticization because you have that belief,
I double tap
right?
space. Sometimes that helps.
That despite you changing
That
as a
shit
person,
deep,
despite them
bro.
changing as a person, that
Hello?
your relationship
Put
with
me in
them,
on
that your
this.
bond with them, whether it be
So that was like,
your
I'm retiring,
job
and then he made
or
a we need to talk
your
about something. Sending
fitness
him
or
a
your
friend request.
health or your body and the pure peers,
What?
etc.,
This is what happened.
is going to be something which you're going to continue to like, right? That you're going to continue to love
Yeah, it definitely is biome.
and
I'm
enjoy.
finding this shit called
And
adamantite.
it's that hope, it's that belief, it's that effort towards yourself and the relationship that you have. And then love starts to feel like something that's has
Charred
a more
woodlands, bro?
consistent definition, right? It's
Just
not
a
just
volcano.
effort, it's not just a feeling, it's both. It's your brain's consistency is wired to
Whoa.
invest in the
I see another grave.
relationships that you care for, whether that relationship be with your job, your work, your health, your life goals, your family, your friends, etc. Like that is love. And I think a lot of people call it that love of the game. And honestly, like
Type
that
shit beat.
for an overthinker, that was as satisfactory as a conclusion that I could come up with. It's the pattern aligns where I want to be and who I want to be.
No! I see the fucking toad!
That's good enough.
Fuck you!
So, that's
I'm in like a.
been my
No,
thoughts on
no, I
love
missed. No, I
lately.
missed.
I'm still working through it. I I, of course, I still have my time. You know, I'm waiting for someone to sweep me off my feet when I'm ever not
That toad is
expecting it.
so
Because
fucking
every
annoying.
relationship I've gotten into has happened right under my
I
nose.
lost
But
3 cobalt, but I still have 2.
yeah, I've been told that it's my time to get in a situationship with an East Asian, and I'm
I
just
ran
like,
out of
"Oh,
energy because I
whatever."
was
But
fighting like the skeleton thingy at the same
that's my
time.
love
Like
of
the gen.
life. That's the love of the game. It's the belief that it'll all be okay and that it'll turn out exactly how it's
So
supposed to,
so distraught
and
right
that
now.
I'm gonna eventually develop a
Quite a lot
pattern
too.
to
The fuck?
grow along with all the things
Fire,
that I
bro.
want. And that's the
From
hope.
a chest though, just ass.
All right,
Balls.
I'm drawing a blank, so bye.